In my last video, I created an IoT project which used AlphaVantage API to pull stock data and display it on a small colorful display. I started by fetching quotes for IBM stock, received the response in JSON format, then I had to figure out how to parse that response using Arduino JSON library and display it in a plain text. When this worked, I displayed stock data for Apple, Amazon and Meta, enhancing the graphics a bit. The ultimate goal for this project was to create a stock quote ticker that will show real-time data or slightly delayed. And here I had a rude awakening. This sort of data is heavily regulated, and to be able to display it, I will have to sign the agreement with Nasdaq and SEC. Fortunately, AlphaVantage hinted that while stock data is regulated, similar data can be accessed for Forex and cryptocurrencies. I chose the latter, and in this video, I'm going to create a ticker for 5 popular cryptocurrencies using the service called Gemini. The cryptocurrencies I will be using are Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, XRP, and Polkadot. If you want to see if I succeeded, stick around. To complete this project, we will need ESP microcontroller connected to the small TFT display. Here's how the two components should be connected. Ground is connected to ground, VCC to VCC, SCK goes to D5, SDA goes to D7, reset goes to D2, and DC goes to D1. Backlight pin is connected to VCC. In this video, I will be using web APIs provided by Gemini. Since cryptocurrency information is not regulated like stock data, this web API is public and we do not need any API keys for authentication. Gemini's documentation offers a wide range of HTTP requests, but I will focus on just 3 that my project requires. The first one is an HTTP request that provides ticker information for a selected currency pair. Let's examine an example for a Bitcoin and US dollar pair. First, let's run this HTTP request from a PC using the curl command. The response consists of header separated by a blank line from the JSON file. All JSON data is provided as a single line, which can be difficult to read. However, with a few formatting adjustments, the response would look like this. In this response, you have the bid price, ask price, last close price, volume in both quantity and value in US dollars, and finally a timestamp indicating when the quotes were taken. That timestamp value represents the number of milliseconds since the Unix epoch, which is January 1st, 1970 at midnight UTC. This allows precise calculation of when the data point was recorded. So in this case, here is the actual timestamp. Now let's examine version 2 of HTTP ticker request. Again, let's check the response on Windows first. This version provides slightly more comprehensive information. Let's reformat the response. Much better. Here we can see the currency pair name, opening price, highest and lowest prices, previous close, price changes over the last 24 hours, and finally, bid and ask prices. After some consideration, I will use only this version of the ticker, as it offers more detailed information and allows me to create a chart of price changes as well. While there is no timestamp included, this information can typically be obtained from the header data. The last HTTP request I will look at is the price feed URL. This one returns information for all pairs providing the current price and change percentage. Let's execute a curl command for this request. Wow, that is a lot of data. You can see here crypto to standard currency pairs, but also crypto to crypto pairs as well. The entire response is close to 8 kilobytes. I started worrying if the microcontroller can handle this much data. Let's see if we can single out one of the pairs that we are interested in. Oh, here it is. Bitcoin to US dollar. The response is again a tremendously long line. Let's show a more formatted structure, or in this case just a sample of it. You have a table of objects in which you can see the pair name, price, and percentage change. The plan is to parse the response and go through it line by line, extracting the values for each pair. Let's go through the code for the price feed HTTP request. There is quite a lot to cover. I will quickly review these sections as I covered them in detail in my previous video. If you are having difficulties understanding this code, please refer to that tutorial. For internet connectivity, we need two libraries. Next, we require access point credentials and the server name which hosts the web API providing cryptocurrency information. Then we define a secure client. To use the TFT color display, we need 3 additional libraries and pin connectivity information. Finally, we need to declare that display. To parse the JSON response, we need the Arduino JSON library. In setup, we open the serial monitor in case we need some debugging, and then we connect to the internet using previously defined credentials. For the TFT display, we need to initialize it, set the rotation for how data is displayed, and clear the display by setting it to black. Additionally, you can enable text wrapping, set text size to 1, and set text color to white. In the loop, we turn off SSL verification. Then we connect to the Gemini server over port 443. Once connected, we send a price feed HTTP request to that server. In the while loop, we read the response from the server line by line without performing any action until we encounter a blank line. This line separates the header data from the JSON response. When we encounter it, we exit the while loop. Now we use the payload string variable, which is initially blank, to save the rest of the response. We can then pass the payload variable containing JSON data to the custom function we created. This function will parse the JSON data, filter the results we want, and display them on a TFT display. We wait 3 seconds between each loop function execution. So how would that custom function to process JSON data and display it work? After declaring a static JSON document and reserving 8 kilobytes of memory for it, we parse, or as it is called here, deserialize the received data into it. Again, I would refer you to my previous tutorial where this process is described in detail. The variable y is set to the vertical coordinate in pixels from which we would start displaying data. Then, in a for loop, we go through the table of JSON objects, each consisting of a pair name, price, and percentage change for that pair, extracting the pair name first and assigning it to pair variable. In the first iteration, we will get the Ethereum to British pounds pair. In subsequent iterations, we'll go through all other pairs in the JSON response. If at this stage we introduce an if statement, we can filter out just the pairs that we are interested in. When we encounter one of the pairs that we want, we can extract the 2 remaining values of that object, the price and change %. Then we can display all 3 values on the TFT display. When all 3 are output, we move the white coordinate down by 20 pixels and are ready to process the next object in the for loop. So we have reached the stage where we can load this code onto the microcontroller and see how it works. The code connects to my home access point, and here we have the quotes for 5 selected cryptocurrencies. So we have properly written the code, but unfortunately at times it does not work. The 8 kilobytes of data came back to bite us, and we are hitting the memory bottlenecks. This means we need to trim the HTTP response before we parse it. In the loop we had a section that was reading the JSON response into the payload string. Unfortunately, we need to replace this simple code with something substantially more complicated. I will not explain this code here, as this video would be too long. I have created an explanation and I will eventually create a short video. When I do, the link to that video will be at the top of the screen. Let's have a closer look at the quotes for 5 cryptocurrencies. The way they are presented is not the most eye-catching, but if we make few changes like increasing the font size to 2, rounding values to 2 decimal places, displaying changes in either red or green depending on whether they are negative or positive, and adding a gray background for each column of data, we can greatly improve the appearance. Additionally, we can extract the timestamp from the header to show when the quotes were taken. The result looks much better, right? I won't explain line by line how I made these formatting changes, but you can find the improved sketch in the description of this video. Figuring out how these adjustments work is not that difficult. So what else can we cover in this video? There was this version 2 of the ticker request, which we covered. But there is a lot to go through there, so I think it would be a wiser idea to stop here and create a second video on this topic. Especially that I wanted to draw charts and also create a dashboard where you would pick the cryptocurrency you're interested in. So it looks like it is all for now. Thank you for watching. Like and share this video, subscribe to my channel, and if you feel generous today, you can join the group of people that went extra mile to support my channel. I will see you in my next video. Ciao!